Hello Internet, and welcome back to Memoirs of a Gretchen. Today I want to talk about scouting. Yeah, Boy Scouting, Girl Scouting, Venture Scouting. Now I can hear a lot of people's cries and the anguish of dweebs, because scouting typically, I find, puts on the air of like being a goody two-shoes or being a dweeb, because you like to be outside and go camping or do volunteer work or achieve stuff. Now, as a little girl, I wanted nothing more than to be a Boy Scout. And I was this close. The Troop 29's Cub Scout meetings were held at my house because my brother was involved and my father was one of the leaders. So meetings were held in our backyard, in our garage when it was too cold, with a little propane heater stove. I had a car in pretty much every Pinewood Derby, because there's like a secondary race at the end for family and stuff. Because surprise, surprise, a lot of family involved in Boy Scouts wanted to be involved in Boy Scouts. You know, all the sisters. Because Girl Scouting in my area was very limited, to say the least. Now, don't get me wrong, I was involved in Girl Scouting in 2 different groups, actually. And both of them are very positive experiences, but also a little, because the first one, where it was like the daisies, brownies, and whatnot, and the lower levels, and the juniors, I believe, is the other level. I mean, I did a lot of things. I earned a lot of badges. I went to a summer camp, and I sold cookies and candy. But that's really about it. I wanted to go camping. I wanted to do things. And I wasn't getting that in this troop. Now, eventually, through, I think, a way that I don't really remember, that group disbanded, or maybe I just left. I'm not quite sure. And then another Girl Scout troop arose. And this was led by the wife of my father's friend, who was also involved in the Boy Scouting. So, and this group was like full of girls a lot more like me, who wanted to, do everything that a Boy Scout will do, only be able to do it because girls can't be Boy Scouts. Oh, I've never heard of it. The like. Now, this group was a lot better and a lot more balanced. We went camping. We did like service type projects. It was awesome. I had a lot of good friends involved also. But the thing is, I didn't know until later, because of course I was a scout. I was involved in the administrative point of this. Is that we did a lot of borrowing equipment from the Boy Scouts. We didn't have a whole lot of funding, because unlike the Boy Scouts of America, I don't believe that we had a sponsor like the church or the Night Lions. A lot of this was our fundraising and out of pocket and stuff, because the leadership had to go through a lot of red tape with the Girl Scouts of America to like let us go camping, say, in a cabin instead of like in tents and stuff like that. So it was very awesome in that we all got to do stuff and go places, but at the same time it was still very limiting. And eventually that also kind of fell apart. Because as, girls grow up, it's not something that they want to be a part of. Because it's dweeby. It's not elegant. It's not, even though it's Girl Scouts. We were an unconventional Girl Scout troop. But then along came Venture Scouting. And this was brought forth to me by my dad, who had always, known this about me. Who had, had seen me grow up in my progression through Girl Scouts and still always wanting to be a Boy Scout. And the Boy Scouts of America started this separate branch of scouting called Venture Scouting. I'll put a link down into the kajigger about it. And Venture Scouting is, to simply put, for teenagers and young adults from ages 14 to 22 to do more extreme camping and the like. I mean, you can, do all the scouting type things and get badges and awards and the like. But at the same time, this group that I was a part of, we just did a lot of camping. And I believe we did do some volunteer work and fundraising, and it was awesome still. And we had funding, especially because this was a brand new thing, and we got a bunch of people, and pretty much everyone from my Girl Scout troop was involved, as well as, a few other Boy Scouts and the like. Because at the same time, this is something that, for instance, this is something I could share with my brother. We could go camping together. And same thing with another few of the scouts. They essentially went camping as a family too. And brothers and siblings could be involved, and you could simply, for friends, they could go camping together or even just forge friendships and do the things they wanted and do it in a safe environment. And because of course there's a ratio of leaders and whatnot. And surprise, surprise, this came about a decade ago when I turned 14. Dad's just like, here's this one thing, you want to start it? And we're like, yeah! And so then pretty much every summer and, speckled in between during the year, we went on, smaller camping trips and huge ones. I'll put more links down into the kajigger or whatnot, because I'll be talking about a lot of things. For instance, the Boy Scouts Northern Tier Adventure. And they have a camp up in the North Woods, the Boundary Waters area, in Minnesota and Canada, with the land of 1,000 lakes and whatnot. And, our troop didn't go through there, but pretty much every other summer I went up for a week-long camping trip with canoes and whatnot in that area. Pristine wilderness that you just can't really find anywhere else. And we even went to the Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico, and we hiked the mountains and whatnot. I went whitewater rafting. I went winter camping and rock climbing and all sorts of wonderful things. And then even as I got older, because it's to ages 22, even as I was in college, I still would come back for camping trips. I advised younger scouts in, doing things, teaching them stuff. And even, some of the past few years, a few summers ago, I went and I signed up as a leader. And I went camping with some of the new scouts. Now, I've been thinking about this lately, and I bring it up now because it's been a huge part of my life. The cultivation of my lovely personality. And a few weeks ago, I got an email from my father. It has been forwarded, throughout the thing. And it was an invitation to go to, I believe, Philmont again with the group. Or some other camping trip on their last outing. Because since interest had dwindled so much and there weren't enough teenagers involved to keep it going, the group is disbanding. And I mean, this actually, brought a few tears to my eyes. Because this is a very important thing to our country and our society. I mean, it's called the Boy Scouts of America. I mean, even though it's all over the world. So now, in this small area in DeWitt, Iowa, there is no more venture scouting, which is very sad. Because we were the only that I know of. It may have changed by now, but back when I was involved, we were the only one involved for counties away. We had people drive in from towns and towns away to be involved because they were involved in this. Those towns had separate Boy Scout area groups, but they didn't want to be Boy Scouts. They wanted to be involved in venturing. As like I said, it's more camping based and adventuring. It gives you the opportunities. It does give you the opportunities to travel and do things that you wouldn't normally do in your life. Now, I have been doing research, and now it's a lot easier for Girl Scouts to go camping on par with the Boy Scouts that I've researched, because there have been a lot of overhauls to scouting done in the past few years, like any other social reform happening. Taking a lot of religion out of it, because it doesn't need it. You can have morals without stuff like that, but that's a big old can of worms. But the thing is that I've noticed that a lot of scouting is starting to die out, despite a lot of people trying to bring it back up. Now, I'm going to concentrate more here on the girls, because that's where my experience lies. And to be honest, little boys aren't lacking in opportunities for leadership and doing what they want. It's little girls. And about this age, too. From puberty. It's when puberty starts. And you get to 14, and then lots of things just dive off of a cliff. And just girls don't think that they're allowed to do these things anymore. Fun fact. Women hold 91 or 17% of the 535 seats in the 112th U.S. Congress. Half of the states of the U.S. have never elected a female senator or governor. Men occupy 80 to 95% of top decision-making positions in our country, like politics, business, the military, religion, media and culture, especially entertainment. Women comprise of 5% of directors and 14% of film writers in the top 250 grossing films. Also, these are all statistics and facts that I found in a really enlightening yet very sad documentary, Misunderstood. I'll put a link to the website down in the Kajigger as well. Watch it, it's really good. Now, I'm not going to say that, all of these facts are because, the men half of the world are going, subjugate the women! No, they're not sitting up on their chair, twirling their manly evil mustaches, while they make secret plans about sending women back to the kitchen and stuff like that. Though I'm pretty sure some of them are doing that. But by and large, in a whole, I hear men going, well, I would have hired a woman if one had applied for the job, and things like that. Now, this all stems back to, remember like a few minutes ago when I was talking about, girls kind of falling off of the face of the leadership cliff and things like that, where they don't believe they can be in these positions and be engineers or forest rangers or, congresswomen. These things fall off of the face of the leadership cliff because it's not presented to them. They become obsessed with body image and, more feminine qualities and roles to be pushed in because that's what they're believed that they can be pushed into by, their current roles. They don't see that, and they're not encouraged to do that, so they don't do it. Now, with all of those overhauls in place in scouting, I believe that especially for girls, especially if they're not like shunted away into Girl Scouts, and in venture scouting as well, because the thing about Girl Scouts is that they're all girls. Now, venture scouting, they're pit side by side by, boys of the same age and older. And they do all the same things. In fact, I have seen, girls canoe better, climb better than some boys, despite the boys being bigger and stronger. And they work together as equals. And that's very important. And my hometown is losing that. And it really breaks my heart. So I guess, if any, parents happen to be watching this, get your kids involved. Be involved with your children. If you're, of an age and you don't have kids, even just, you can look and be a leader. Be a role model for these kids and these teenagers. Because whereas I've seen in a lot of families and places that when kids can't talk to their parents about things, like their feelings or abuse or anything at all, when they don't feel they can talk to their parents or their family, they will turn to like their youth leader or their scoutmaster, and they'll open up to them in confidence. Because that's also a thing. Even if you don't have children now, you should be invested in children and in other people's children as well. That little girl down the street, maybe there wasn't enough funding for something, or they were just one leader short on the PTA, or one leader short of being able to make a scouting group or go on this one trip. Especially, I found in venture scouting, for every so many girls or so many boys, they needed one leader of each gender. And many times it was a factor that, okay, we need to do this, and we need, because like I was called back a few times from school to see if I was interested in this, because we need another female leader, or we have to tell the girls that they can't go, or just cancel the trip entirely. And if that little girl down the street can't go to these things, maybe she won't be the person to cure cancer. Or maybe she won't be the first lady president. It takes a village mentality. Because yes, one person is nurturing and raising these children and these teenagers, but it's as a society as a whole. And you know, I'm a part of society. Everyone is a part of society. And you need to be involved in it to shape it. Okay, that went on a little longer than I had planned, but you get the point. This has been a true story from Memoirs of a Gretchen. I hope you enjoyed. Did you like this story? Help support Memoirs of a Gretchen by subscribing, liking, or even just leaving a comment. If you'd like to hear a certain topic, say so in the comments, and if I have a story that fits it, I'll tell it. PG-13 though, please. Think of the children! Just remember, it's a true story.